Hey, hello, hello, hello. I finally did an afternoon stream like I said I would. so, anyway, like planned, this probably won't be too long. We're just gonna do a short little reaction type thing to get like a recap about like the important parts of the Sumeru storyline, because there's a lot that I don't remember since I did do some of it when it first came out, and then I had a lot of months in between that and not playing Genshin for a while just because I got busy with life. And now that I'm playing it again, I'm so lost. And I think a good update. So I did find a pretty good video. Let's just switch over to my screen share here. This video by Ashikai. Definitely after watching this, or you can go right now and give them a like. And this is the video 3.0 Sumeru Lore Roundup, what we learned from the Archon and Aranara quests. So I haven't done the Aranara quest, so we're not going to go all the way there. I was like just scrubbing through the video, and it seems like they explain a lot of good stuff. So we're just going to stop before here. So we're just going to watch the first, I'd say, how many minutes is that? First 14, 15 minutes-ish, excluding the intro part. So we're just going to watch these three sections about the Irminsul tree, the Akasha system, and the knowledge capsules. So we're just going to watch these three parts. And I do have the video sped up to 1.25, just because I don't really want to watch someone's video for that long. I think on stream, just because it's their hard work, and I feel like if you want to watch more, definitely go to their video. I'll put like a link in the description of my Twitch VOD and my YouTube VOD. So that way you can have access to it. So we're just gonna watch this part, and then I'm going to end stream, and then I'm going to start stream again in maybe an hour or so after I have my lunch, and then we'll continue. This is just like a extra part so that we can all kind of get updated together on the lore. So yeah, let's start now.
Start off with the Irminsul tree, because without this tree, for context, a lot of the other lore bits don't make any sense at all.
Irminsul.
So the Irminsul is this thing. Yes, it's a giant pink tree, but functionally it's more like a combination of a human heart and a human brain that's kind of been mushed together into one magical doohickey of a world organ that powers the entire globe.
Oh,
that was confusing. I'm sorry. It's basically the heart of the world. Okay, and everything else is a vascular system.
Okay, because throughout the story, they kept mentioning the Irminsul tree, and I was like, or not Irminsul tree, they just kept saying Irminsul. I'm like, what's Irminsul? Like, I don't remember. I remember them mentioning it, but I didn't remember anything about Irminsul. So okay, so it's a magical tree that connects the whole world. Okay. Got it.
Now, I call it a brain because the tree stores all of the memory data for everything that ever existed within Teyvat, and it's like a heart because it uses its roots like a vascular system to circulate memories and elemental energy throughout the entire world. When anything dies in Teyvat, it returns to the roots of the Irminsul, which we call the ley lines, where they are stored and circulated for further use. However, because this memory data is stored and not destroyed, damaging the ley lines can allow for memories and elemental energy to leak out. Leaked memories can manifest into ghostly apparitions that appear to be sentient, and leaked elemental energy can cause environmental phenomena known as ley line disorders.
Okay, that makes sense. Because ley lines, like whenever you do any kind of ley line stuff, it's always like a flower or a tree root or something like that you interact with to gain materials out of. So they're connected because it's part of that tree. Okay. And I remember this
Surimi quest. For example, is considered a ley line disorder. With that context of the Irminsul basically being the embodiment of Teyvat's circle of life, the first part of the Archon quest should start to make a little bit more sense. The Irminsul, containing all the memories of the world, is part of an enormous repository of accumulated knowledge, which is why so many academia students try to connect it directly to it using the spirit Borneal incense that we see in the very beginning of the Archon quest. The Traveler, being the little lucky ducky that they are, is able to connect to the Irminsul directly on accident with just one whiff of the stuff.
Oh, so the incense
the original Dendro Archon had her consciousness directly linked to the Irminsul while she was alive, and that it is her voice we heard saying the words "World Forget Me" through the Irminsul.
Okay.
That implies that at least some of her residual consciousness is still somewhat aware of what's going on and may intentionally be reaching out to us for some reason because, we're magical, plot, armored, deity, god, protagonist people.
Right.
Yeah. But during the second Archon quest, Kusanali expresses concern that the Irminsul is slowly dying and that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's last message is the key to finding a way to heal it, because if we don't, then all of Teyvat will die along with it, which is great. Now, later on during the Aranara questline, we learn that the phenomenon known as the Withering is the manifestation of the Irminsul's affection, the one that Kusanali is trying to cure. We'll cover this infection a little bit later when we talk more about the Aranara. Just remember that the Withering and the Irminsul are connected for now. Now, technically speaking,
so I definitely need to do the Aranara quest. I don't know if that's part of the Archon quest, or I'm gonna have to like go out and find it. Because I guess that's gonna explain more about the Withering that I still have no clue how to deal with. But I remember the Aranara are like the little mushroom people they're like little mushroom or fungus people or something like that. I do remember that part.
Pieces of new information here are related to the Irminsul's infection and the Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's connection to the tree itself. Everything else that I've laid out here has been pieced together from fragments of lore scattered in various places throughout the entire game, but I've marked this whole thing as new and important and put it at the very beginning of the video because it's been explicitly confirmed now. The Irminsul and the ley line's functions are actually very critical for understanding how the world of Teyvat functions. Memories are literally the lifeblood of Teyvat, and nowhere is this more apparently illustrated for us than in our next topic, the Akasha system.
Oh, okay, good. I need this explained.
On a technical level, the Akasha system is actually pretty simple. It's basically a cloud server or a local intranet, with the Akasha terminals acting like a Bluetooth headset that you can control with your brain. It's kind of like being able to think, okay, Akasha, what's the answer to my question? And then have Akasha dump the info directly into your brain after retrieving it from the cloud servers. It's kind of like going, okay, Google, okay, Siri, help me out here. That said, it's got a limited range and seems to work best in cities, so mostly in, Sumeru City and Port Ormos.
Okay, so that's why the desert dwellers don't really have these. Okay.
That's basically all there is to it. But the sketchy part about this is that the Akasha appears to be somewhat sentient because it can decide to just not give you information. Unlike our modern search engines in real life, like Google, we do still have some level of anonymity. I mean, it's not much, but we still have some, whereas with the Akasha, you have none. Because of that, the Akasha knows basically everything there is to know about you, and it is able to therefore decide what you should and should not know and gives you new information based on that, which is creepy.
Yeah.
Even sketchier is that the system can both grant knowledge and compile knowledge, not unlike certain search engines that we know, and it acquires that directly from your brain, which is different from things like Google. They are not quite in my brain yet.
That's
I hope.
Really creepy, but yeah.
Anyway, the main reason
I got
people
that
in
part,
Sumeru think that they don't dream is because the Akasha system effectively harvests data from their dreams and compiles it into its personal databases.
Okay.
Effectively erasing any memories of the dream.
Okay. So now I remember. That makes a lot more sense, because when we were doing this quest, I was like, they don't dream, so they're harvesting the dreams. But what are they doing with those dreams? It's actually that they're taking the knowledge during those dreams, and then the dreams just disappear. Okay. That makes sense.
Itself. And if the idea of harvesting information or knowledge or data from dreams confuses you, my pseudo-scientific answer to this would be that it probably has something to do with the function of sleep when it comes to the brain.
Right.
Because, technically, sleep isn't necessary for the body, it's only necessary for the brain. Your body is just fine, just resting. While the true purpose of dreaming is unconfirmed, scientists have long believed that dreams are one of the many methods by which your brain processes new information and then commits it to long-term memory by weaving fragments of memories and newly acquired information all together. This process is called memory consolidation, and I think that's what Genshin is trying to go over here.
Right, that makes
harvesting
sense.
System thing. Perhaps it's able to parse through the thought fragments and then recompile them into its own databases. To me, that sounds like it's probably within its capabilities. Now, during the second part of the Archon quest, the sages of the Academia leverage the Akasha system's dream harvesting function to effectively force every person wearing a terminal into the exact same dream. In this case, one hosted by Nilou. Unaware that they were dreaming, everyone relived the same day over and over and over and over again. How many times, I don't know, I lost count.
Yeah.
And this caused extreme mental fatigue. In the case of some people, like Dunyarzad, the mental fatigue was actually fatal.
Right, I was so devastated.
But Kusanali does claim that she died at one point, but as far as I can tell, this might have been like a brain death kind of thing. And Kusanali was later able to venture into the endless realm of the dream spaces to find whatever was left of Dunyarzad's mind and then recover it. Hence why she didn't actually die outside the dream.
Right.
That's kind of a cop-out if you want my opinion, but anyway.
No, it is true. I remember I was so upset that Dunyarzad died, but I felt like this sense of vengeance that we're gonna get back at whoever was causing this, and I was really happy that she was alive, but yeah, that was kind of it was a little bit of a cop out. I do agree. Oh, hold on, someone at my door. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. There wasn't actually anyone at my door. It seemed like someone just walked by. I have those like door chime things. So never mind. Never mind. Let's continue.
The most interesting thing about this dream loop is how the traveler described the spaces outside the dream after they left the city. They said there were countless spaces filled with bizarre and fantastic things, and that these should have been the individual dream spaces of each person who had been sucked into Nilou's dream. I imagine that these spaces are reminiscent of like a lot of bubbles. Some are adjacent to each other and some aren't. They're kind of connected, but also they're entirely separate. If this description sounds a little bit familiar to you, you either play Honkai and are thinking of bubble universes, or you might have watched this video of mine on Domains, where I talk about the exact same thing.
Maybe like one of the other days.
Please do.
Well,
I feel like this whole
like go in and watch those, but I don't know like how useful that'll be for Genshin if it's for Honkai. I have played a bit of Honkai actually, like last year, but not too far. I think I got to like level 50-ish, maybe. Yeah, I think like around level 50-ish. But like Honkai has like a lot of different stories, and I never really knew what was going on when I was playing that game. So yeah. All right, let's just continue.
Concept is going to become very important in light of recent events. Anyway, at the end of each dream loop, the Akasha terminal that the person is wearing beeps, and at that moment in time, all of the dreams in this endless dream space were consumed by a bright light that looked like the sun in the sky. In my opinion, that light has to have been the Akasha system. I'm not exactly certain how many dream loops passed, because I didn't bother counting, but it was a lot, and I'm not really sure that matters, apart from it just being a lot. As for the purpose of the controlled mass harvesting of dreams, well, I think Dia was probably right when she said that the sages might be trying to create a giant hive mind, or at least bolster the Akasha system with a massive influx of data. As for why they would want to do this, I think it might be because they need the data for a big project. In my opinion, the resurrection of Rukkhadevata, or the creation of an artificial gnosis. In my opinion.
Oh, I see. Okay. An artificial gnosis. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Okay, let's continue. Let's see what else she has to say.
An artificial gnosis's construction actually makes sense here, since the Akasha system needs a gnosis to operate, and gnosis just means knowledge.
Right.
Well, in the case of Genshin, it means divine knowledge. Kind of like the divine knowledge capsule, huh?
Oh.
And considering the fact that the academia has banned the use of knowledge capsules while continuing to use them for themselves for unknown purposes.
So a divine knowledge capsule could maybe be like an artificial gnosis in the making. It's not like perfect yet. Kind of like almost there, but not quite.
And then they proceeded to lose this super special divine knowledge capsule in the desert. I think the idea of creating an artificial gnosis actually has some merit.
So we're still looking for it.
Maybe we should look into the knowledge capsules a little bit more first.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge capsules, also known as canned knowledge, are basically like USB flash drives for the Akasha terminals. This is noteworthy because the Akasha decides what people can and cannot learn, but knowledge capsules lack this function.
Right.
Anyone who has a capsule can have that knowledge. It's uncensored, so to speak.
Oh,
It's obvious that a governing body that wants to control the flow of information wouldn't want that kind of thing to be easy to access,
so they ban
it makes sense that the Sumeru Academia higher-ups would ban them.
Right.
But it's not as simple as all that, at least not if Alhaitham is to be believed. Now, during the Archon quest, he says that people who seek out these knowledge capsules are, quote, unsatisfied with the path chosen for them by the Akasha and wish to change their fate. Now, if the Akasha decides someone's fate by deciding what they should and shouldn't know, then that's huge, because the other thing that decides a person's fate is their constellation, which is in the sky, which is like a god-level thing, and obviously the Akasha is powered by a god, so there's also that. Now, if you weren't around for the Unreconciled Stars event way back in 1.1, this video may interest you because...
Oh, that's a throwback. I was around for that event. I remember. That was a fun... Like, it was a cool event, because I think it was like the first one we ever had, too. But I'm kind of sad that it was like a temporary event. They should really bring back these events as like at least like stories. They don't have to give like rewards or anything, because a lot of these events were like genuinely, they had like really cool stories and things like that. All right.
It is actually relevant again.
Yeah, and they're relevant too.
Event, we learned that the sky is not only just a lie, but the stars aren't really stars at all. They're just rocks masquerading as stars that are scattered throughout the firmament.
Right.
But these rocks that are pretending to be stars are suspiciously similar to these things we know as Irminsul fruit. And if you remember earlier when I explained how Irminsul is this world tree that's like the heart of Teyvat, then you might see where I'm going with all of this. If Irminsul sucks up memories in the same way normal trees suck up water and nutrients, then it's going to use those memories that it absorbs eventually to create a fruit. Those fruits I've suggested hang in the sky as stars and dictate the fates of those in Teyvat.
Oh,
now,
that's
before you
crazy.
tell me that the Irminsul is underground, yes, I know that, but also remember that this is a magic tree whose branches and roots can be physically separate from the main trunk and still connected to each other, at least if the description of the ley line sprouts and branches are anything to go by.
Oh
and
my God.
there are places in-game that talk about this inverted tree in the sky. And so this is all definitely connected somehow, and one day I'll put this all together in another coherent video, but that day is not today. Anyway, knowledge capsules can easily be likened to Irminsul fruit, as they are literally seeds of knowledge that are just chock full of memories, which, when used, can let the user literally change their fate by giving them entirely new skill sets and information that they can do something else with.
Right.
It's kind of like wishing on a shooting star, only that star is a USB drive, you know? And since elemental energy and memories are stored in the Irminsul, it makes sense that you can use Elemental Sight to determine the quality of the capsule's contents, which we did in the quest.
We did do
a higher
that.
elemental energy concentration most likely means that there's a higher concentration of memories inside as well. Therefore, dense capsules are more likely of higher quality, which is why Alhaitham suggests using this ability in the first place.
He did,
so basically,
yeah.
to tie this back to the whole Gnosis idea, I kind of think that they're probably trying to, like consolidate whatever fragments of Rukkhadevata's, memories that they have into one divine knowledge capsule, and that would make something that's kind of akin to a Gnosis. It's possible. It's a little bit of a stretch. I think they're going to try it because you see, there's actually more evidence for this. See, it's worth pointing out that the divine knowledge capsule is red, but normal knowledge capsules are actually green.
Right.
Green is usually a color that's associated with something being safe, and red is usually a color associated with something being not so safe. In this case, I'm going to say that green knowledge capsules are pretty standard. That's how they normally look, but when the red light comes on, that means there's something wrong with your data, and it's probably a little corrupted, which is
also the unknown god at the beginning of when you first start up Genshin. Her whole aesthetic is red too, and she has like data, like it's like cube like powers, but it kind of looks like data, like corrupted data or something like that. Like the way it shows up, it looks like glitch effects and things like that. So I feel like that red is connected to Celestia, to gods, so that's why that like red glitch has that aesthetic for that reason. So that could be why too.
Is why when this dude, the captain of the Ain al-Akmar, used it, he went a little bonkers, and the only way to stop him was to shut down his Akasha terminal because, that kind of disrupts the flow of information, or at least I'm guessing at that part. However, that really wasn't my point here. My point was that this dude who used it, he's the captain of the Ain al-Akmar, he did so by thinking he'd obtained the knowledge of their god, the Aramite god, the Scarlet King. But this capsule actually probably more likely contained some amount of Rukkhadevata's knowledge instead, because the words he uttered when he was starting to pass out were hers.
Right, yeah, he said...
She literally said, world forget me, and that's what he said as he's kind of being dragged away. So,
so it's the academia is trying to either resurrect their god or, like, create, like, a fake Gnosis, but even though they have the current Gnosis of the current god, Nahida, the Lesser Lord Kusanali, I guess they don't want it, right? Because they don't accept her. They want the previous god. They want Rukkhadevata's powers, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's power. So they're kind of like making like a, I guess, corrupt version of her or something. I don't know. It's crazy.
This capsule is the one that the Academia supposedly lost in the desert and was trying to retrieve. I'm pretty convinced they're trying to bring her back, or they're trying to build her knowledge into an artificial Gnosis. One of the two. They're going to do both. Okay. And that just about covers it for the Archon quest. We're going to move on to the Aranara.
Awesome. Okay. I didn't have to pause it then. I could have waited. But yeah, so I haven't done the Aranara quest line yet. So I'm going to see if I can find that. Or I'll like look up if I could do that. After we finish the main story quest, whenever we catch up, we'll also do the Aranara quest, I think. Or I can look up and see when I can do the Aranara quest, But yeah, again, shout out to Ashikai. Thank you so much for making this video, because someone like me who my memory isn't the best, I kind of need it to be like reinforced again and again. So this kind of thing is so useful. So definitely check out Ashikai for this awesome video, and I will definitely link their video in my description so that you can check it out for yourself in case it was going too fast for you. Let's switch over to chatting real quick. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna just end this stream right here. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube as well, and then in a little bit, I think I'm gonna eat real quick, and then I'm gonna stream again, and we're gonna continue with the Genshin quest, and then tonight as well, it will be a shorter stream tonight, or if I started early, it should be about an hour, hour and a half. Because I have to work early in the morning. So we'll continue the story. I really want to finish, but I don't know. It feels like I'm not anywhere near catching up yet. So I will do as much as I can today, but tomorrow, I think, if I'm not wrong, my schedule is Minecraft tomorrow. So we're going to get back into Minecraft. And then I do plan to continue the Genshin storyline. So probably going to play Minecraft. Then next day will be Bioshock. And then Genshin Impact again. Or, it could change. It's nothing really set in stone. All right. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here. And I will be seeing you guys again very, very soon. Bye.